Path of Exile 2, different classes, enormous passive skill tree, loads of ways to build your character wrong, almost unlimited combination of skills and support gems, a lot of different resources, and we're not even touching the end game. It's extremely easy to make tons of mistakes in this game, and I already made them. So here's my 10 tips for beginners that I wish I knew before I started. And let's start with the thing which is most highly talked about this game. A lot of beginners actually fear this passive skill tree because, you know, you're going into one way and then you understand that you're going to the wrong path. There's no useful stuff in here and you need to go to opposite way, and it will cost you loads of time, loads of effort to get to the correct nodes. So what you need to do? It's probably more than 1000 passive nodes over here. Do you need to read them all before you actually decide what to do, or you need to follow blindly build guides? Yeah, you actually can do it, because build guides are made to just chill and enjoy the game. But what if you just want to decide what you want to do right now? It's actually pretty easy, so don't miss this part over here on the screen. It's actually a search bar, and all you need to do is to just write what you need. So for example, right now we are playing as the witch, so this witch, like over here, will be my necromancer, for example, and I want to play as spell damage, minion damage witch. So I can just write into search bar something like minion, and all minion nodes will be highlighted. Just look here, we see that's something with a minion over here. It's minion damage. Oh, that's nice. I can like level up in here. But if I need some health, I just find minion have 15% increased maximum life over here. And coolest part, you can actually write minion life, so it's not too case sensitive, if I can tell it, like explain it like that. Basically, minions have 15% increased maximum life, can be easily found by just writing minion life. Want some chaos damage? Just write chaos damage, and you will see every like chaos damage node on the tree, and you will easily find out how to get there like that. So now I just can calculate. To go on top, I can spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes to get in here. By going to the right, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a lot more. So if nodes to the right is useless for me, I just go to the top. But if they can be used, I will go to the right, of course. So that's how to easily find everything on the passive skill tree. But that's one of the ways how you can navigate. But actually, if we zoom out a little bit of this tree, we will see that there's clear pathways. Like a lot of these straight nodes of attribute points. And actually, while it's not 100% true, and on passive 3 points, like here, that it gives you attributes, you can pick any attribute, so you can go with intelligence, strength, and dexterity. There's actually like kinda clear directions on the tree. So if you want to build mage, you just need to look on the top part. So if you build in mage, just go and check the top part. While it's important because there's a lot of like big nodes over here that is insanely powerful, and sometimes it's not so obvious what they will give you to you, because some of them are pretty like unique. There's extremely big nodes like Whispers of Doom that will give you additional cures. But here at the top left we can find Mind over Matter. All damage is taken from mana before life, and you will lose your mana recovery rate. So it's kinda survival rune, but it also uses mana, so it will use mana as your like shield, for example. We can call it like that. So what is the idea behind this rune? You can't actually find it normally by typing in the search bar, because what you will type? I mean, like, take my mana, give me health? I don't know. So ideation behind this tree actually is pretty like, can be explained like this. There's clear pathways, and on the top you will find intelligence stuff. So something that will work with your spells, with your skills, with your mana, with your magic damage. So as you can see, there's cold damage over here, a lot of shock damage over here, fire damage over here. It's mostly like mage stuff or intelligence character stuff. Critical hits for spells, so like a lot of intelligence stuff. And everywhere here will be some intelligence stuff, like mostly useful for mages. But if you want to build mage who can be, for example, tanky, let's call it like this, you go to the top left part, because top left part will be intelligence strength. And it makes sense. Mind over matter, damage taken from mana before life. It's kinda mix of intelligence and strength. So what's on the bottom left? Bottom left will be strength. So when you're building your warriors and other guys like this, you will be over here. It's attack speed with handed weapons, one-handed, two-handed weapons, and other stuff that's used for weapons. Building warrior who using strength to deal more damage, you go into the bottom left part. You will find a lot of cool nodes over here, a lot of nice passives. So top intelligence, bottom left is strength, top left is intelligence strength. And same applies to the bottom right. It will be dexterity, mostly like dexterity stuff that gives you evasion and attack speed, projectile speed will be on the bottom, and dexterity strength will be on the bottom. Basically here you will find a lot of attack speed and some armor, some like powerful stuff. It will be on the bottom. So if you want to build dexterity strength character like gladiator, you want to find some runes over here like on the bottom. And top right, of course, it will be dexterity intelligence. So if you build a magic fighter or mage who can tank, top left, mage top, magic dexterity character like monk, top right, bottom right dexterity character like archer, and bottom will be dexterity strength. It's used for crossbow guys, for example. And basically, when you're building your crossbow guy, you probably will go to the bottom and to the bottom right. This next mistake I actually made, and it's not a big of mistake, but still. Scrolls of Wisdom sounded like a good stuff. So you can go to Yuna in a camp, and she will sell this Scrolls of Wisdom for 25 gold. In the beginning of the game, this 25 gold is a big deal actually, but I thought that I can find some items, I will identify them and I will sell them for more gold. In reality, don't do it, because when you advance just a little bit, you will find this dude and he will identify items for free. Just come to him and he will identify your items. And like that, I made a big mistake. I sold everything from the beginning before I even realized that I can buy Scrolls of Wisdom. So Scrolls of Wisdom was second mistake actually I made, because I spent loads of money on this, and they are not too rare, so you can get a lot of Scrolls of Wisdom just from random drops, but it's really like common item, common currency in this game. And before you can identify items again, don't sell them, just go into stash. Even as a completely free account, you will have 4 stash tabs, and just when you completely starting from scratch, keep all items in stash until you will be able to identify them. That way you will get lots of gold at one point of the game, and you can buy some nice gear to go through to Act 1 a lot more quicker and a lot more easier. Next mistake will be tied to this guy again. So this guy can actually refund our passives. So we can just go to him, find our passives, and based on our level and total amount of points distributed over here, we will be able to refund passives. And basically we can respec our character. I was actually really feared in the beginning and made this mistake. Instead of leveling some skills, I decided, oh, I need to actually level up a little bit more, get some gear, and then decide where I will go based on my gear, maybe on some skills and some spells. And I just completely ignored some of this completely free intelligence nodes over here, while I could pretty cheaply refund them and change my path later. So don't make this mistake, level up, don't fear to pick wrong nodes so you can respect them later. Experiment and have fun. And kinda same mistake was made with skill stones. Again, I didn't know how rare they are, but actually you will level up, you will get more high level skill gems, and I hold it a lot while not leveling my skills. And you know, when you get skill level 1, it will be a lot weaker than skill level 2. So I recommend just to go to upgradable and always upgrade your spells if you don't have any new spells to learn. And don't fear, learn a lot of spells and have a lot of fun. But make sure you understand how skills work, because elemental skills will work for anyone. You will just cast it with your hands. But we can equip any skill on any character. For example, right now I get Killing Palm, and I can be like Monk Necromancer, just like that. It's pretty fun, so yeah, you can have fun and enjoy these skills a lot. Just make sure you get correct requirements and experiment and have fun with skills as much as possible. Another tip for the skills: if you like to cast skills standing in one place and not moving, you can actually go into skill panel, and there's for some skills will be advanced options, or they will be under skill options, and you can press attack in place over here, so you will be able to attack in place. But the problem you can met, and I was figuring out it a lot, you can equip something like Killing Palm, for example, but after you will equip Killing Palm, you will see this exclamation mark on some of your skills, because they can be used only with our another weapon, and you won't be even able to equip this weapon while your skill gem is active. So how to unequip skill? It's pretty easy. You just need to select it, manage circuits, and then you can remove it. Finally, that's a great stuff. So another tip, and I'm curious what you think about this tip, is to actually don't use these heads a lot. While they're pretty common and should be cheap items, actually they are pretty useful, and there's not a lot of good explanation how to use them. So I used them a lot in the beginning, but then I realized I used a lot of stuff that can be used more often in the late game to create the items I need. So how they work? Basically, orbs of transmutation, how I call them, heads, will give a normal item property of magic item with one modifier. How it works basically is pretty simple. You just use it on normal item, and you will see on what items you can use it. They will be highlighted, and these boots with 22 armor will have modifier, just one modifier, and blue items like this will have only 2 modifiers max. So that's what you need to know, because there's orb of augmentation, which can augment magic item, and this will create magic item from basic item with one random new modifier, and again they can have only 2 modifiers, so this will add one more modifier and we will have 2. But there's also items that can just add one modifier, and they won't be useful and they won't do anything when you're already on 2 modifiers. That's why I recommend keeping these items like Artificial Orb until late game, when you actually need these rune slots on your armor set weapons, because you will change gear a lot while you're advancing through the game. And most of the time you can just buy great items from the shops, that's it. Easy like that. So next tip will be useful for those of you who actually struggling in this game. Maybe you're having some troubles advancing through the game, and that's where it comes a little bit of over leveling. So for example, you go into area, you fight versus monsters, and then you decide that you need a little bit more farming and get at least a little bit more experience, more passive nodes to advance through the game. You can actually restart areas pretty easily. So to do it on controller, you just need to go to this entrance, and you will see press hold, show options. You just holding your button, and you will find enter instance or new instance. If you go for enter instance, you will go into the same area and it will be completely as you left it, so it will be explored if you already explored and cleared. But if you go for new instance, it will respawn all mobs, all bosses. You can replay bosses like this, farm them for multiple times, get some drops, get some gear, and basically over level and farm as you need. And as we touched bosses, let's talk about them. When you're farming bosses and when you're clearing them for first time, some bosses will drop you nice permanent buffs, like Beera of the Rotten Pack, and you will see that on this area she is grayed out right now. It doesn't mean you can't find her again, and she's located in Clear Fell. Basically you see it's pretty obvious she's somewhere in the area of Clear Fell. And before you advance, what you want to do, you want to actually make sure you cleared all this stuff. For example, I cleared all bosses, and you can press over here to go between ground and below ground, and stuff like this is actually highlighted. So in the Cemetery of Eternals, Ancient Ruin is not explored. I can go here, fight enemies, and explore this part, and then I will find this Ancient Ruin. This means I got some loot get in this area before I continue my journey. And that's always a smart idea, to fight bosses like this to get permanent buffs. And one more stuff that's nice to know: while support gems are not too rare, you can find a lot of them and you can get lots of nice support skills. You can use only one support skill in one skill build. So for example, right here I got Contagion, and in one socket I got Hourglass support skill. And it's really heartbreaking stuff, because when I decided, oh, Hourglass is a great skill, I actually want one more on another skill, I don't want to make 2 support skills in Contagion of the same type, and here you can do it. You actually can't use Hourglass no more basically on any of my skills, so I will be forced to actually sell this support gem or use it on my other characters. That's basically how it works. You can use only one type of support gem on your skill build. That's it. Not on one skill, on whole skill build. And last thing I wish I knew sooner is how to make a great build. And you may see on the screen right now the great build starter for the Witch, as well as my review for this game as beginner. You will enjoy it, definitely make